Yeah.
Already half an hour, man.
No, I'm joking. Jeez, hey, why are you so
Can't hear
sensitive?
you, Oleg.
Why are you so sensitive this morning, Oleg?
Dude, it's rough, man.
Jeez, why is your volume's disappeared again, eh?
And it's not my volume, I promise you, man.
Well, Lester, confirm.
Yeah, no, it's like your cable's just pulled out or something.
Yeah.
Stop kicking the cable under the table.
Dun. Dun, 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 dun. There's nothing. Oh, better put my phone on silent.
Better?
No.
No.
I see nothing wrong with the microphone.
Come in, Oleg. Come in over.
Yeah, I can hear you guys well.
But maybe check the volume settings on your Skype.
The thing is, it was working, and then he went for a coffee. Didn't touch anything, and now it's not.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
It must be Saturday.
Yeah. It's like, it's the day that everything goes wrong, you know? Why? Just because it can. Just because it can. So, you know, I'm sure I'll swap over to our live video shortly when Oleg's. And then on your actual device itself, you know, like on your Windows device.
Yep.
Yeah, you're like far away. Maybe, I don't know, close Skype, come back into Skype. Da-da-da. Do-do-do. So, Lester. Do-do. Just trying to see if I can max out the volume.
Plugged it
here.
into this port. Guys,
That's
Yeah.
much better. Jeez.
is it better?
Yeah, but you're still coming
Okay.
in and out. What happened?
I've plugged it into a different port.
Ah. Right.
Right.
Okay.
Let's rock and roll.
Well, why the fuck not?
While we're here, we might as well get on with it.
Yeah. I was thinking about it during the week. Maybe I must think about changing the theme tune. I don't know. Is it? Well, it is Weekend Craic, right?
Yeah.
Right. Morning, boys.
Did you see the video of those guys playing Thunderstruck?
What, on the
A
cello?
bunch of hillbillies.
No.
Yeah, no, it had spoons and.
Oh, we're gonna have to find that. I'm gonna have to find
Yeah.
it. Yeah, I got
So
into
well done.
I got into a bit of a music mode last night. I was sitting in front of the anthracite heater. My iPad plugged into the hi-fi. Surfing YouTube, listening to old music from the 80s, from the 90s, some heavy
geez.
metal.
So
Yeah.
it wasn't like chilled out, depressing stuff.
No. Never.
I mean, the 80s and 90s, there was a lot of that.
Yeah, well, I mean, I was listening to other kind of stuff like Depeche Mode and that kind of stuff. Yeah,
Cure.
taking me back to, yeah. Well, and what helped take me back to the Witbank days was the smell of the coal in the anthracite heater. It was smelling like those, you know those dumps that are continually burning, the spontaneous
Yeah.
combustion kind of thing going on there. Yeah. So anyway, that took me back. So that was my Friday evening. How was your Friday evening, Lester?
I was at the pub.
He was at the
I was
pub.
I was at the pub.
You naughty
I
boy.
went to the pub.
How full?
yeah.
Okay, tell us about the experience. How full was the pub?
Well, fortunately, it was a reasonable weather. You know, it's dry, and the pub was able to. And I walked in, it was like no one there. It's like,
Right.
this is Friday night.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not the same because I normally used to have live music on a Friday, and it was always busy. But because it's social distancing, they've now, and the weather's good. Everyone was outside.
Right.
So it's quite a big garden at the back of this pub, and they've got benches outside distributed all over the back of the garden, and there was just tons of people. So although there's lots of chevron tape on the floor with arrows and lines and instruction guides everywhere of what to do, where to stand, order here, collect your beer there, don't touch this, don't come near the staff because they will bite or set the dog on you or whatever it is. So there's a whole conveyor belt system almost.
Yeah.
They get you out into the garden. That's where you must stay. And but yeah, it's as I thought. Come, what was in 6-10 pints later, everyone's crowded.
I was going to say all those rules are to be broken.
Oh yeah, I mean the bar staff do still have the same process for ordering beers. But outside, it was just carnage. It's, I haven't seen you for ages. And wander over, sit down at your table.
Yeah, slobber. So, and of course, no one's wearing any masks or anything like that because obviously they've got to consume their beer.
Exactly.
That's crazy. And I mean, did you feel unsafe in there though? Did you feel like
no?
Because you know what I found after this sort of lockdown and social distancing and being aware of it when you go to the supermarket and all that, is that now I'm people getting into my personal space is a bit of a problem, man.
Really?
I don't know. Yeah, well, I mean,
getting sensitive.
No, well, the thing, but I think in the environment that we work in, Oleg, is that safety is number one. So you're constantly assessing the situation and saying, okay, is this a dangerous situation?
I think all that's causing is a cognitive dissonance because the environment in which we work in, safety is number one, but the environment in which we live in, safety might make it to the top 10, but might.
Yeah, but I mean, even when I worked on the mine, when I left the mine, I was a lot more conscious of safety or risks or hazards in the workplace than my fellow colleagues wherever I was working, let's say Columbus Stainless Steel or whatever, working in the office there. They were safety wasn't front of mind.
Yeah.
It's a good thing and a bad thing, I would imagine. To be safety conscious all the time, but also just become a bit paranoid and neurotic. Anyway, how was your Friday night, Oleg? I was going to say Leicester.
It was pretty good. It was pretty good. I had a late night yesterday in terms of I only finished work at about 7:00.
Yeah.
Then made some dinner. I just chilled a bit, watched a movie. I watched a pretty interesting horror/thriller movie called Ghost of War.
Yeah.
I had a pretty unexpected twist in the end. It wasn't. It was basically set in a Second World War setting, but the ending threw completely off, which was quite cool.
Oh, right.
It's nice to have an unexpected endings.
Yeah, I started watching a series called The 12. There's about 12 jurors that have to deliberate over a murder.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I'm I don't know, I'm in episode 4 or 5 or something like that.
Is it set in the US?
No. I think it's it might be the Netherlands because it's a foreign thing, the usual thing. It's foreign dubbed into English, which drives me fucking insane. But anyway, takes me again back to my childhood, watching stuff on TV simulcast. Oh yeah, exactly. Anyway, so I was watching that, and a lot of the stuff that's in the background, stuff that they can't change, it was like almost like Afrikaans, so it must be
Yeah.
Dutch. Must be Dutch.
Flemish.
It could be Belgium, hey? As
Was
well.
that on Netflix?
Yeah, it's on Netflix.
Is it called Jury?
No, it's called The 12.
The 12.
Yeah. Are you Googling it now?
Yeah, of
Are you
course, man.
Netflixing it now?
The 12.
I think we'll
I'm
have
just trying
have,
to. I'm just trying to establish the origin. You know, like where.
Do you know, I watched a few years back. There's quite a few good sort of cop mystery series that come out of Scandinavia.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Some really good gritty stuff. Obviously subtitles, but if you're listening to them, there's a few words that do sound Afrikaans, and you
Yeah.
go, "Oh,
Yeah.
that's an Afrikaans word." Oh,
But I mean, have you watched the girl with the dragon tattoo
yeah, yeah.
things? I watched those, but I watched the dubbed version. So it got the DVD. They had English dubbed audio for it, as opposed to
Yeah.
watching it with the subtitles.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, those movies are pretty good. There was another
Yeah.
series called The Killing. I don't know if you know about it. It was
Killing
actually
was quite good. Yeah.
yeah, it was actually first done in wherever the guy that did the screenplay, wherever he's from. He's from Scandinavia somewhere, and they did a local series, and then the Americans picked it up, and they made it an American version, but obviously on his screenplay. And it was flippin' brilliant. It was set in Seattle. You must actually go watch it. It's like 4 seasons. And the first 2 seasons cover one investigation. The other 2 seasons cover another investigation. Man, I tell you what, it was epic. And I've actually I've actually read a book by the same guy that wrote that screenplay. He wrote his first novel about a year, maybe 2 years ago now. And the book was very, very much the way that he structured the TV series, The Killing, very, very much the same kind of. Yes, I got sucked into that book. I think I finished that book in 2 days.
You read the book?
No, I was listening to audio. I'm an audiobook guy, man. I don't read.
I can't read anymore.
Nice.
No, I don't read. You must be joking. It's the new world, man. It's the new world.
It's inefficient to read,
Yeah.
and
Anyway.
it damages your eyes.
Yeah, of course. Absolutely. Anyway, so.
The first book I read on my tablet years ago.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, I'm going to try this because I commute a lot. I don't want to carry books around with me. And I used to read books occasionally. And I was reading this going, I can't be bothered with the glare. This was on an iPad, I think. Can't be bothered with the glare. Can't see stuff. Yes, it's very quick to close and open and it's bookmarked and it's easy. And then in some parts of the book, there's background sound effects. And
What,
it just
in the
brings
book?
it to life. Yeah. So while you're reading it, you get the sound effects, and it just like, oh, okay,
What?
whole
Are
new
you
life.
kidding me?
And that was the no,
Yes, that must be freaky. So
yeah,
I would imagine. So have you seen that? Have you experienced that thing where you put your headphones on, and they've got some sound thing, like say for instance a guy cutting your hair, and like when you put the headphones on, it actually sounds like the guy's cutting your hair.
yeah.
What do they call it? It's got a special name about it.
Like surround sound effects type of thing.
Yeah, but I mean, it's got a specific thing. It's not surround sound. It's like, because it's like right next to your ears. It's like, it's aura something, right? So basically, how they record that, I'm sure they can do it digitally now, but how they first, how they used to record it in the beginning, they put 2 microphones right next to your ears, right? And then they play the sounds. So then the way that it's recorded in stereo is like how your ears would hear it in terms of where it is position-wise.
Coming from.
Yeah, where it's coming from. So now imagine if you're sitting there with your book, with your headphones on, and this thing is, and the door's creaking over in the corner that you're like, fuck, somebody there. Can you imagine?
That would be
Those
pretty cool.
footsteps
That would be
behind
pretty
you.
cool.
Like,
There's someone coming up behind. Oh man, that's the first time I've heard that. That when you're reading a book that you get the sound effects. You know, not an audio book.
It was only halfway through the book that I realized. So I must have. How much of the book have I missed? Because I didn't have earphones in.
It's like helicopters flying over. It's like Tom Clancy.
Bullets ringing all over the place. They were shouting, screaming.
So you know what's an interesting thing about the TV show that you mentioned, the 12, right?
Yeah.
It's actually produced in Belgium, but
There
it's
you go.
produced in Dutch.
It's produced in Belgium.
But it's produced in Dutch language.
Oh. But I
Yeah.
mean, Flemish is very similar to Dutch, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's right there. Whoever speaks Flemish probably speaks a bit of Dutch on that border.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So the country of production is Belgium, but the language is Dutch. So you were right actually on both occasions when you mentioned it.
Yeah, okay. So
But you
Got it.
understand? But you understand that, like, because you speak Afrikaans, right? Look.
yeah, no,
when
look, I
you-
mean, it's. I must actually maybe turn the original soundtrack on and see if it's
Yeah.
better because, geez, I don't know. I just find when they do those dubs, those extra audio tracks in different languages, you know, it just freaks me out that the words aren't synced and
Yeah.
the sounds don't sound as if they come from the actual.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Maybe I'm a bit of a. I don't know. I wouldn't say a purist. but-
Purist.
I like the Spanish dubbing because, like, you can see the characters speaking sentences. and
No,
then
we're not talking about money heist. We're not allowed to talk
And then
about money
translation
heist.
is like.
We're not allowed to talk about
translation
money
is like,
heist.
okay,
No,
Well, what's wrong
no,
with talking about Money Heist?
no,
money
it's-
heist is awesome.
No, man, it's a load of shit. There's too many holes in the plot. And I said it before, and then I sent you a newspaper article where the fans were complaining about it.
Yeah.
But they're still
Well, we're
fans.
not-
Can you believe it?
Oh, yeah, we still watch it because you've fallen
you're
over the
still
characters.
watching, yeah. No. I'm not watching anymore. I gave up.
Well, hang on. Is this about the last series, or they just because they've watched the whole series 10 times over, they now find other little things?
No. Like when I was watching the first season, and why are we talking about this? I don't want to talk about this.
Oh, that's right. You said you didn't want to talk
I don't
about
want
it.
to talk about it. You're actually sucking me in now. You see.
What do you mean? We really sucked you in, man.
I know.
It's like it's that
Thanks,
deal.
so.
Yeah, that was the first.
We got you emotional. We got you emotional about the whole situation.
Yeah, exactly. You pushed my button, dude. You
Yeah.
knew which button to push there.
Yeah.
Yeah. So how was everyone's week?
Are we doing ratings?
No, we don't have to, but why not? Seeing that we're here.
All right, I'm going to predict.
You're gonna predict.
Andrew's a 6, a solid 6.
Yeah.
Andrew's
How did
I
you
think
guess?
you're.
How did you guess?
Well, it's it's tradition.
It's a tradition.
Every week is a solid 6.
Yeah. I'm really trying to change that, but clearly you're not getting it
Well,
right.
no, it's still on the positive side, so
Yeah,
it's
no.
fine.
No, listen, dude, this week was insane. If I thought that the previous weeks were insane, this week was insane. Like I half contemplated, and I don't want to put this out to the universe, but I'm going to put it out to the universe, and then I'm going to take it back.
Anyway,
Anyway, I half was like, I'm going to drop these guys a message and say I can't do it this morning.
oh dear.
That's how bad it was.
But this is your break from routine. This is your
Yeah.
force you to chill out and stress out about sound issues.
Yes. I go from one stress situation to another stress
Yeah.
situation.
Yeah, but it's like it's a yin yang effect, man.
Yeah. You know what they say? A change is as good as a holiday.
Hang on, isn't that where you sit when you work?
Jeez. Anyway, yeah, no.
But-
so I was a solid 6.
Drew, can I ask you, like, did your perception and your feeling about working from home changed, or do you separate the two issues of working from home during the pandemic and just
Normal working from home.
normal working from home?
I think normal working from home lends itself to being out and about and doing stuff. Whereas working from home under the pandemic, especially in the beginning, obviously, you were supposed to stay at home. You're only allowed to go to the shops and to get essentials, the whole deal.
Yeah.
So working from home under the pandemic is different to working from home under normal circumstances. If we can actually define what normal circumstances are anymore. Who can put a definition on that now? I think that definitions change, definitely. What can I say? I mean, it definitely, if you were to ask me, how's working from home 3 months into it? Yeah, it's becoming a bit of a something that needs to be managed. That is what I can say.
Yeah, I would agree with you on that. There's a fine line between working from home during the pandemic and living in your office.
Yeah, well, some of us have had to live in our office a couple of times over the last couple of months.
Yeah.
For various reasons.
Yeah. Both literally and figuratively.
Yeah, your wife told you need to go sleep on the couch, dude.
No, I actually have a proper bedroom set up. So
he's got a proper dog box set
couch. The proverbial couch.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's in trouble that often. He's actually made himself a comfortable area.
Yeah. Well, it's that thing where now I've got the podcast studio.
It's planning, Lester.
That's planning, yeah, exactly. But in the podcast studio here, I've actually got space for a bed, and I know that if I put a bed in here, I've got a problem here. Because if I'm sitting here and I'm working, it's going to be a problem.
And you're looking at the bed. I mean, it's like, or if you put a comfortable couch.
Yeah. A comfy couch, as opposed to a comfy chair.
Yeah, where you can actually lie down, put your feet up, and then.
No, as long as it's not. What can I say? As long as it's not squeaking when I move.
Yeah.
That every time you move, you wake up. I mean, have you ever had that where you go to a B&B or a hotel or something, and the bed squeaks, and every time you turn over, you wake yourself up?
It was obviously used a lot.
Yes. I wasn't going to go to that kind of squeaking, but it's fine.
But what's worse? Your bed squeaking?
Hey?
Your bed squeaking? Or
your
you
neighbor's
trying to fall
bed squeaking? I don't know. Hey?
And the neighbor.
I would prefer mine to be squeaking. Yeah, sorry. I cut you off.
No stress. So,
Tell me
my
story.
my week was about, I would also say 6. It's like I was really trying to get to 7. But I didn't get there. And I figured out why I didn't get there. I didn't do enough exercises, and I didn't draw the line between when I should stop working this week and when I should actually do something
Recreational.
Yeah.
No, I think that is definitely a problem, and I think what happens is a lot of the time you can manage it, then all of a sudden there's a pressing issue, and you say, okay, I'm just going to get this done, and then I'm going to give it a break. And like in my case this week, something just wasn't working the way it was supposed to be working. And so you just keep on slogging, because the goal is I need to finish this before I can move on, or before I can go do something else. And before you know it, it's 12 o'clock at night.
Yeah.
And you still haven't fixed what you wanted to fix. And you're going, okay, now I've got to call it. But you've been going since 7 o'clock this morning.
Yeah.
If you know what I mean? And I mean, you do that 2 nights in a row.
You feel it.
Yeah, absolutely. But anyway,
No
I
doubt.
mean, it's the thing that really helps me through those kind of things is having a routine around certain things, like, for instance, going and doing some exercise.
Yeah.
And, I've now, over the last couple of months, enjoyed going for a walk around Emmarentia Dam and back. It's a good 6
that's cool.
Ks. The only problem is with the weather being so cold. Fuck me, George, dude. I don't really feel like getting up at 6:30 in the morning when it's -1 and going for a walk.
It's a bit rough, huh?
Yeah, it's a bit rough. So I'm feeling the effects of not, because when I go do my walk, but I mean, besides the fact that you're getting the exercise and all that kind of stuff, and I hope no one's listening, but I'm listening to a podcast on the way.
But how, were you more effective at squeezing that in the morning or in the afternoon? Because, I tried the afternoons, but afternoons
No, I can only do
busy.
mornings. I can only do mornings.
Okay.
Yeah, and I mean, it's if I get that exercise, it sets me up nicely for the day, because I feel like energized. Like you've got rid of some of that crap,
Yeah.
Like the cortisol or adrenaline or whatever it is. Yeah. And Lester's sitting there very quietly, smiling, nodding.
He's smiling. Yeah.
Or is he frozen again?
No. He was with us.
He was with us. And Lester, come on, tell us how your week's been. Okay. That sounds like a 5.
No, I'm going to go with your 6s.
6,
I don't want to feel left out. 666, all of us. Wow.
Oh, number of the beast, baby.
I'm tired of the working from home thing.
Oh, at least you got to go to the pub.
I'm wondering whether it's
taken away from us again.
Again, well, I'm just looking at the number of cases skyrocketed this week.
Apparently, we're number 6 in the world.
You serious?
Yeah.
Yes, you have more confirmed cases than the UK does.
Oh, lovely. And
you were well down the list.
Yeah. So I mean, the thing is,
I have a dog next door that barks all day, and it's right next to my office. So I just get this dog all day, every day. So I don't know if I'm going to the pub to get away
rid
from
of the
that,
dog.
or from the work. Oh, yeah. I need a change of scenery here.
And I mean, have you had a chat to your neighbour?
Well, there's nothing he can do. He goes out for the day. He needs to go out and work. He has to leave the dog in. There's 2 dogs. Only one of them barks.
So, and what's he barking at?
Everything. Anything. Nothing.
I could give you some suggestions off air.
No, guys.
I don't think you're going to give me anything I haven't thought of.
Probably not. I can see Lester's Google searches for the week. Your Google searches for the week. How to discreetly dispose of barking dog. Yeah.
I don't want to kill it. I just want to mute it.
Yeah, where's the mute button, dude? So where those, don't you have noise cancelling? You need to go buy yourself a pair of headphones, man. Noise cancelling headphones. Don't you have those for the airplane when you're flying on business?
Yeah. I mean, my headset this is my normal headset. It actually works pretty well. These are fairly noise cancelling.
Okay.
But it's that sort of decibel. It's a piercing, it's on that frequency that pierces anything.
Even 6-inch steel.
Well, yes. I mean, that it's a semi-detached house. So
yeah.
The bricks, the thickness of the bricks between us is about, let's see,
30 centimeters. That's 2 layers, right? That's
it's
pretty
probably
standard.
around more. This is a 110-year-old house. So
Okay.
it's about 40 centimeters.
But that's pretty decent. That's pretty decent. You shouldn't actually hear it. But I agree with Andrew. A good pair of noise cancelling headphones would actually sort it out. Because my wife got herself a pair, I think about a few months ago, and I've tested it a number of occasions. Once I put them on, and set basically the noise cancelling program to like medium, right? Can't hear anything from the outside.
Yeah.
Not my dogs barking.
Yeah, you see, this is just going to create arguments. You know, oh, I told you, no, you never listen to me. I keep telling you stuff, you never listen.
Yeah. You're going to have to swap over to sign language.
I told you 3 times.
Yeah. Send me an email, man. Send me an email. Well, WhatsApp.
Text, yeah.
Yeah, send me a text. Yeah, hook me up on Teams. Yeah, my life is conducted through Teams, dude. It's like everything goes through Teams. Well, work related stuff.
Yeah, it's bad that my OneNote has a work and a personal section.
Oh, really? Yeah, I've also got that.
It's just different tabs.
So, I mean, what do you prefer? Do you prefer Evernote or OneNote?
I've only ever used OneNote.
Oh, is it? Okay. Yeah, I use OneNote, but I don't know. I just find, I suppose, the sort of like experience across different platforms, like from the mobile to the browser, I just find Evernote is just a little bit easier to use in terms of capturing quick thoughts that I want to capture.
Well, my
so I use both.
Always open, so I can just type it in, bang, it's auto saved. It's and it's easy to copy and paste, move things around. Yeah. But that's the routine I've built. That's my efficiencies. I've not actually looked at it on the phone because when I'm on the phone, I don't want to be thinking work.
Yeah, true. Yeah, but like you know that whole thing of having a personal OneNote section and a work and a private.
Yeah. So could this go back? So what restrictions are coming in place with this?
With the latest
hike
changes?
in rate. Yeah.
Well, I mean, from immediate effect last Sunday night, there was like no more alcohol, which is fine. It doesn't bother me because I'm not drinking at the moment. I've just realized now under lockdown, like stop drinking for an extended period of time, and then, grabbing a couple of beers or having a whiskey here or there. All of a sudden, I'm not sleeping well again. Waking up in the middle of the night, can't go back to sleep. Just, and now that I'm not drinking alcohol, I've still got alcohol, I've got beers in the fridge, I've got whiskey in the cupboard there. Just not drinking, I just feel so much better. I'm just sleeping much better. So, the fact that you can't buy alcohol now, it doesn't bother me.
Yeah.
So what else has gone into restriction? Have you gone into full lockdown mode again? Or
no.
Is it regional or?
No.
It's level 3++.
Yeah, dude, I've got to the point now. I don't even check what the restrictions are. Just carry on with life, without even.
Well, it's important to know. Otherwise, how do you know if Uber Eats can deliver?
Oh no, trust me, Uber Eats is delivering.
Yeah.
And how do I know? I didn't have to check Cyril's little condensed version of his speech. I just had to go to the Uber app and say, "Can I please have some food?" And it arrived again on time. I had some free chicken again last night. And talking about it's making me hungry.
Nice.
Yeah, man, shit, the chicken burgers are flipping, they're good, man. I'm really enjoying them. Last night was a bit oily, though. But I like oily stuff, so it's fine. So other people might not enjoy that, but I do. I'm so glad I left you guys speechless.
Wow.
Where are you getting it from?
So Freebird is a new chain. I think we spoke about it the other day. There's a
Freebird.
Freebird, yeah.
I'm gonna take a note of that.
Yeah, there's a chain KRAK. It's like a healthy food chain that's in the gyms and in the malls and all that. And they sell like smoothies and wraps and that kind of stuff, but healthy food. They've started a new chicken chain. and it's called Freebird, and they do epic chicken burgers. And I think what I really like about it is the portion, the size of the burger is pretty good. It's good in my opinion. It's good value for money.
So why'd you get a free one?
No, it's no, I didn't get a free one. Did it?
Hey, so I was going to talk about. Do you guys have Yost sushi there?
I'm not big into sushi, so I wouldn't even know.
No, but you would know Yost sushi because they're in malls and things. They're a chain. It's obviously a sushi kind of place, but they have a conveyor belt system, right, which goes past every table. So if you want something,
I've seen
you just take it off the conveyor belt, right?
I've seen that on the movies, man. And they got different colored plates, right?
Yeah, it's a whole setup. Yeah. So you can wait for main course, starter, kind of in sushi terms.
Yeah.
But so so now that we're returning to post pandemic, let's call it, the Yost sushi doesn't really work because you don't know who's touched the thing that's going around on the conveyor belt.
Oh shit!
Because you can take it off and have a look at it and then put it back on if you don't think it's for you. So
well, not anymore.
It's in plastic coverage. Yeah. So they've gone, oh, this whole concept of our restaurant's not going to work.
Oh shit!
So very quickly and very, very cleverly, they've now gone, right, instead of just putting all the food from the conveyor belt goes through the kitchen and right around the restaurant, right? It's a massive long thing. It's only as wide as a plate.
Yeah.
But it circuits, right? So that there's no waitering staff, other than for drinks, I think. But yeah, so what they had to do now is they've turned it on its head, and they're actually using the conveyor belt as a delivery mechanism.
Oh.
So you now go sit at the table, you scan a sort of QR code, you order on your phone.
Okay.
And then the next thing is this conveyor belt pitches up with your food on it.
Oh.
And it's like that was clever. They've taken it from a quirky this is our little niche thing that there's a conveyor belt system, you can choose which ones you want. Now they've used it, turned it on its head, and used the situation to their benefit. The infrastructure was there. They just added an app.
That's brilliant.
So I'm liking this. This is what I'm liking about the coming out of this, or the whole pandemic thing, is it's forced people to think a bit more. Let's
see how different businesses are pivoting.
Yeah, we need some ingenuity. Let's think outside the box a bit.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, yeah.
Yeah, because there was a restaurant here in South Africa, Molly Malone's, and they converted it into a roadhouse kind of thing, because they're fortunate that their establishment is basically in the parking lot for like a strip mall.
Yeah.
So there's like a strip mall, and then all the parking lots, and then there's Molly Malone's in the center of it. And so they tried a roadhouse effect kind of thing, and the cops shut them down.
Are you serious?
Yeah, I'm not too sure. Listen, dude, do you know what happened? You know when they had this first lockdown with alcohol, what actually happened? So you get non-alcoholic beer. You get non-alcoholic beer, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Have you actually ever checked the side of the can and what it says?
No.
It says 0.03% alcohol in it. Okay. But legally it's classified as non-alcoholic beer, and it can be sold in supermarkets, and underage kids can drink it. Right? Or underage people that are not 18.
Sure.
But when they had the lockdown, the cops went to the supermarkets and confiscated all the non-alcoholic beer because it had 0.3% alcohol in it, and it wasn't allowed to be sold.
No, but that's just a waste of resources. That's just a waste of resources.
Exactly.
Come on.
Instead of going and making sure that in the places like the high density living areas, that they are looking that they are following the rules in terms of social distancing, etc., etc. They in the suburbs and going to the supermarkets and confiscating non-alcoholic beer. Anyway, but that's it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Cyril accused us of not following the rules, and that being the reason why everything has shot up. But yeah.
Well, somebody's not followed the rules. But it's about how, I mean, you have to contain it. But I'm just looking at the way the UK has done it. And maybe because of the levels of testing that they're doing, which I still think is not 100% right.
Yeah.
But they're able to quarantine like towns or suburbs. So
Yes.
it's more controllable. They can stop the outbreak spreading.
Yeah.
But you have to react fast, right?
Yeah, absolutely. I think we spoke about this the other day, but I mean, like this, one of the solutions is technology.
Yeah.
And that is in terms of tracking and tracing people that have been in contact with one another. But I mean, there are two factors there. One factor is that you need to be testing, right? The testing rate has to be high for that kind of technology to work. And the second thing is that this whole privacy thing has to be managed very, very carefully. So, because
I don't know if you heard, like, I saw an article in the news that Israel basically went like completely AWOL with this thing. They gave the secret police or secret service like permission to basically tap into everyone's phones and basically to do contact tracing.
Yeah.
Well, my question is, like, once a government agency has that power, right?
Yeah.
Where they have official permission, no court order required, nothing, they can do it at will. Like, how far is that going to be abused?
Well, I mean, that Apple and Google built in COVID contact tracing functionality into their OSs, right?
Yeah.
And all that needed to happen was the government healthcare system needed to write their own app to leverage that functionality. So, I mean, they could have done it in South Africa as well. And we wouldn't, but you would still need to opt in terms of saying that, A, you're going to download the app, and B, that that functionality could be used. So I wonder how the Israelis got around that.
No, there's no app that you need to download, and your permission is not even asked for.
No, but I mean, how do they convert a cell phone to start tracing someone? How do they do that sort of location?
Not sure. It's not like they came out and said, this is how we do it. So the big trend right now is that when people meet up, they just leave their cell phones behind at home.
Yeah, very, very easy. What always reminds me of a story that I heard about someone in logistics, and they were saying that they had this fancy anti-hijacking system in Europe. Okay, so it would like track it like almost had like sort of artificial intelligence and could do predictive analysis and all that kind of stuff to detect when a cargo truck has been hijacked.
Yeah.
Okay?
Is it a big thing in Europe?
Well, I would imagine so. That anyway. So they were trying to sell this system to a logistics company here in South Africa.
Yeah.
They said, okay, fine, they'll trial it or whatever. And they were still having the same normal hijacking rates, and the system wasn't picking these hijackings up. Right. That's because in South Africa we do things differently. So what the guys would do in South Africa is when the guy would stop at a truck stop or something like that, or at a toll gate, the guy would climb in between the horse and the trailer. Okay?
Yeah.
The driver would climb back in and he would carry on driving, right?
Yeah.
What the guy would do is he would then disengage the air brakes, right? because he's between the truck and the trailer. He would disengage the air brakes. The guy in the cab would get a notification that the air brakes are not working. He would literally jump out of the truck, right? And the hijacker would plug the brakes back in again, and he would climb into the cab while the thing was moving.
You serious?
Yes.
Wow.
Yeah, so we do things differently. Yeah, so like you say, you could just leave your cell phone at home, and then that wouldn't have a problem. So listen, just going back to this whole COVID stats thing.
Yeah.
Let's do some analysis.
What are we sitting on?
Analysis paralysis here. I think the
What are
most
we sitting
significant
on?
thing about South Africa is not really the rate, the infection rate. Okay, I don't know why this thing's not working. Because all of a sudden UK is not telling me what the death percentage is, and that's weird. Is that our death rate in South Africa is still very, very low, percentage-wise.
Yeah.
So, I mean, everyone's
What are we
complaining.
sitting on, like 1%?
Yeah, 1.4%.
Yeah, I mean, it's like India, right?
Ooh.
India, with over 1 million cases, is still only 19 deaths per million people. Can I just point out that the deaths per million for the UK
Yeah.
is a 666 number.
Oh,
You serious?
Boom.
so I maybe
Yeah.
should be playing that song now, dude. Yeah, we're 1.4%. So 337,000 infections, or total confirmed cases, 4,800 deaths as a result. It's quite interesting, man.
Yeah.
Anyway, enough of COVID. So did I send out the link to the new Ford Bronco?
Yeah, you did.
Yeah.
Yeah. Did you have a look at it?
Yeah.
What do you think?
I don't like it. I
You
don't
don't
know.
like it?
I prefer the old shape. Maybe I'm a purist, but
it
like
kind of looks like
Did
the
you-
old one.
Did you go in the Bronco when you were in Canada?
yeah, I did.
In
I
Lee's
did.
Bronco. Fuck,
Yeah, yeah.
I love it.
It was pretty cool. It's a really nice vehicle. I mean, that thing will last for another 20 years for sure.
Yeah, yeah. So I think the original sort of Bronco and then Lee's version, I like those. This new one is like, it's almost like they're trying to make a Jeep. You know? I mean, it looks modern and it's nice and whatever, but I think when you've yeah, I don't know. I like the more classic look. I think they could have made it look more classic.
It looks like a Jeep, and
Yeah.
the more the other one in the range looks like the Land Rover Discovery.
Yeah.
So they're kind of losing their idea. The old Broncos are very defined, identifiable shape.
Yeah, absolutely.
Whereas the new ones look like, and maybe it's because it's new, but it looks like all the others, equivalent SUVs.
Yeah, I think obviously they're competing against one another. So I suppose you can understand that's why they would be, similar
So
shapes.
why this is Ford in America? Why would they copy? Why would they try? They want to be their own thing, right?
Yeah, you would hope so.
Yeah.
Anyway, but now the question is whether they say they are going to make a right-hand drive version, but now the question is it going to make it to South Africa?
Oh, it might. It might. I mean, I think they will definitely go more aggressive in tapping into like different markets. Plus, we have good Ford presence here.
Yeah.
Can you buy a
don't know.
Mustang there?
Yeah, we can.
Yeah. I don't know. I'm not particularly sold on the new shape. I don't like this whole trend of trying to replicate the Jeep front grille. I think they could have done better.
Yeah. See, the problem for us here in South Africa is that it's not as if you like the old Ford Bronco, it's not as if you can try and find one and pick one up.
No.
Because you're not going to find it in this country because it's left-hand drive.
Yep.
And you can't import it into the country because it's left-hand drive. So
Well, maybe it's time for a new culture of Bronco in SA, and this is the shape.
Maybe.
So, in a virtual podcast in 30 years' time, they'll be talking about the Bronco of the 20s and going, "Oh, that was such a classic shape,"
I wonder, I've always wondered about that. If any of the modern cars that we are experiencing at the moment will become classics in 20 or 30 years. I don't know. What car do you see on the road now that say, let's produce from 2000 onwards? Would you say, that car's going to be a classic?
Go on, Oleg.
Ford Figo.
Not.
I think he's breaking up. I didn't hear that properly. That doesn't sound right.
Have you seen what Ford Figo looks like?
He knows what it's the old Fiesta. They've got lots of them in the UK.
But actually, I think in our lifetime, the City Golf.
Oh yeah.
That shape. You had one. I had a City Golf.
Yeah.
It's the old shape of the Mark II Golf GTI.
Yeah.
That's a classic shape. That's a classic thing.
Absolutely.
Did we think it was at the time? I don't
No,
know.
well, I mean, I don't think. See, I think what happened there, Lester, is that they extended the life of that shape, maybe beyond its sort of like its lifespan, to the point that it became. It's like there are too many of them around. I don't know. But I tell you, remember, there weren't many in South Africa. But can you remember the convertible version?
Yeah.
Of that shape. Now that's iconic. I think that looks classic. Yeah. I don't know.
I think Golfs, especially like Golf 1s and like stuff like Beetles, these are classic like during our times, right? Like I think limited edition vehicles like crazy stuff like the Audi RS6 Avance and maybe
like what was it? Was it the S2 or something? What was it? The S2 or the S4?
It was the S2, it was the S2. That's still like but that's
but
classic
I mean that's
from 30 years ago.
Yeah, exactly. I'm saying what cars after 2000?
I think it's going to be like limited edition once off, like not.
But the limited editions typically they only change bumpers and different color coded this, that, and the other thing. That's what limited edition. The MX-5 Mazda comes to mind straight away. It's one of their most successful cars ever made, and it is the same shape, and they just kept it going. It wasn't supposed to be this mass-produced thing. It was supposed to be just a little fun thing in the range, right?
Yeah.
And it's become one of their, if not their best seller over the years.
Yeah.
And they've continued to keep the shape. I think they've only just stopped manufacturing, but it went for years and years.
Yeah.
And different colors, different things. They tweak things. They've added
hard tops,
different electronics.
Hard tops, soft tops, retractable hard tops.
But it was ridiculous how popular the car was. It wasn't intended to be.
Yeah,
Does that make it a classic because it was a in-demand thing at some certain point in time?
But I mean, okay, what's, in your opinion, what makes a car classic? Is it the look of it? Is it the, I don't know. Like for me,
I also think it's the functionality, like, right? So the MX-5 came at the price range below the Z4, the BMW Z4.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Like they're pretty identical in terms of their application,
Can't fit into either of them.
They're not designed for big people, and but like the price range of the BMW is like you pay 30% extra on top for the fact that it's a Beamer, got a big engine, etc. So the Mazda just tapped into the right market and the right price points.
Yeah.
But it wasn't their intention to have this as their biggest seller.
No. But I mean, that because it was a successful seller and all that, does it make it a classic car in 20 or 30 years' time?
Well, it became a big seller because everybody liked it, not just for the price range. It was they didn't change the body shape.
Yeah.
They changed the colors, they changed the interiors.
Yeah. And they just did like a facelift and a bum.
So by
tuck.
virtue of that, it suggests that people like it enough, not just because it's fun and in a cheaper price range, but they like the body shape. So therefore, the volumes produced suggested that, and it was big in the second-hand market as well as the brand new market. So
okay,
the demand was there for such a long time. I would say that the volumes would suggest that that's a classic.
Okay, cool.
But I wouldn't say, if you asked me if I'd list 10 classic shapes, wouldn't be on it.
That ain't gonna be on it.
It's still a personal thing.
So,
but another issue is that, right? So the cars manufactured now is not going to be like the vehicles that were manufactured 30 years ago, right? So the vehicles that were manufactured 30 years ago, their body would last, and their drivetrain would last for 30 years. Vehicles that are manufactured now, there's no way they're going to last for 30 years.
No, fair enough. Absolutely. And I think you're being very kind when you say cars 30 years ago that were built are still around.
A lot of cars that were built 30 years ago, are still around. I mean, if you look at the amount of Golf 1s on the road, there's quite a lot.
Yeah, but those Golf 1s, but remember, those are not the original Golf 1s. Those are the Golf 1s that were manufactured in 2000, which is only 20 years ago.
No. I'm talking about actual Golf 1s. You can see an actual Golf 1 versus
that
versus
Golf 1
the last
came out in 1979.
Yeah.
Came out in 1980. Dude, that's 40 years ago, not 30 years ago.
Okay, I stand corrected. That's fine. Same principle, dude.
But what I'm saying is, and I think you're very right, is that the modern cars are not built to last that long, and that's why I said I think you're being kind by saying that cars that were manufactured 30 years ago are still, and I mean, the cars that are still around that are 30 years old are the cars that were built like brick shit houses from the first place. And then we can go into the Mercs, the BMs, listen, my old man's got a 1999 323 BMW.
A dolphin shape.
Well, the one after that.
Okay.
The one after that.
Okay.
It's got 270,000 kilometers on it.
I'm still going.
That thing still goes like a fucking rocket, dude. 6-cylinder, 2.5 liter motor. You start that thing, dude. You're like, oh fuck, that 6-cylinder sound. You put your foot on the. It's got a Tiptronic gearbox. You put your foot on the flipping gas. That thing takes off like a fucking rocket from one garage
Tiptronic
to the next.
Days.
Hey.
Yeah.
That must be the first cars to come out with Tiptronic options.
So early days of Tiptronic,
Yeah. It was flipping. It was awesome, but that's the thing. That car's only 20 years old.
Yeah.
It's not 30 years old. But so let's say those ones that were built, and I mean those were expensive cars in the beginning.
Yeah.
So if you take a Beetle, was a Beetle an expensive car for its day? In its day, was it was designed.
Cheap, mass-produced thing like a Model T.
Yeah. So, but I mean, the Beetle's a classic car. I mean, so maybe was it like you say, Lester? Was it the volume that dictated that it was a popular car, or that it became a classic car, or what about the Beetle makes it?
Well, the Beetle was also international, because quite often these days you'd have different shaped cars for different markets.
That's true. Yeah. That's true. Yeah.
Like white cars are popular in warmer climates, and darker color cars are in other climates. The aircon feature in one.
Oh God, now we're getting too fucking technical, dude.
Yeah.
Can I throw another classic in?
But the thing like the
what's
Beetle
about the
was
Mini?
International.
What, the original Mini or the current?
The original Mini, yeah.
Oh, the original Mini, yeah. I mean, it was like a flipping roller skate, dude. Can you imagine less than a Mini?
I tell you, I did sit in one, right? And your seat is pretty much on the road. Your ass is on the road. If you go over a speed bump, I mean, you can feel the friction on the speed bump on the bottom of your chair, because your chair is like
right there.
It's about that thick.
It's like a little go-kart. It's like 11-inch
Mario Brother,
wheels.
that's what it feels like.
11-inch wheels. Was it 10-inch wheels, 11-inch wheels? I can't even remember. Yeah, that's quite hectic. Yeah. I think, like for me, a car that's current at the moment, from a shape point of view, in 30 years, I think will still look nice, is the current well, not the current Ford Mustang, but the Ford Mustang that they brought out 2 years ago.
And the Mustang's shape is, although it's got a bit bulbous, it's almost what it was before. It's been fairly consistent for a while.
Yeah. So, like in America, you can get the.
What's the difference between? What's the difference between a classic car and an iconic car? Or are they the same thing?
No, iconic car is like a limited production vehicles. Like
with like a GT500, Shelby
yeah,
GT500.
Shelby GT500. It's not like round of the mill type of stuff.
Yeah. Just that it's that's.
So I think the vehicle that's still going to be classic, like from the current lineup, and I'm not talking about like a mass-produced. Well, it is kind of mass-produced. It's definitely the Golf GTI and Golf R. Like I think that's going to be a still classic vehicle 30 years from now. Whether it's going to last 30 years, I'm not sure.
Which one? The Golf 5, the Golf 6, the Golf 7, the Golf 8, the Golf 9?
All the GTIs, I think all the GTIs, but the ones that will actually last, because like you don't see that many Golf 5s GTIs in the road because a lot of them were crashed.
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah, absolutely.
To the point where they can't be salvaged.
Well, I think the modern day cars, if you have accidents, they're more likely to be written off. They all have safety features, but to repair is just a nightmare.
Yeah.
Whereas the old ones, there were a lot more metal. You could just bang it out and kick start it again.
Yeah. Look, I think the Golfs are definitely those sort. I think the Golf, I don't think any particular model, but I think the Golf GTI and the Golf are iconic models. If you know what I'm saying. So whether you got the Golf 6 or the Golf 7 or the Golf 8 or the Golf 9, it would still be, it's the Golf GTI kind of thing, or the Golf R. So yeah, I definitely do like those cars. I wouldn't mind. Yeah, they're nice around a skid pan. Did you know that today is Mandela Day? Yeah. Yep.
Is that a holiday or something? Or is it just a remember the dude day?
No, I think it's a remember the day, dude.
Okay.
Yeah, I think I'm going to put in a proposal. We need another public holiday in South Africa. It's got to be Mandela Day.
I think it's going to be, the chances that it will be received like positively is pretty high.
Yeah. No, I was going to say something. I've decided to keep my mouth shut.
Today is also Insurance Nerd Day.
Yeah, I saw that. What's
hell?
an insurance nerd?
I mean, it's like combining the Nerd Day and the Insurance Person Day into one day. I mean, this is like all the Christmases come together at once.
So, I mean, imagine if you had the insurance or insurer appreciation day. Do you think anyone would pitch up?
Yeah, that's like parking fine attendance day.
Yeah.
Appreciation day.
Meter maid day, yeah. So during the week was, can't remember what day it was. Tuesday, I think. I think it was Shark Awareness Day. So it's also Shark Month. They like on Hulu, they're just playing. They've got lots of shark documentaries and all that kind of stuff. So, Lester, can you remember back when we went down to Cape Town back in 1990, giving away our age, at the end of Matric, we went to Cape Town. I can vividly remember front page Cape Times, a story about a shark that had been seen in the harbour, in Cape Town harbour. And in all the years that I'd been going down to Cape Town on holiday and visiting family and all that kind of stuff. I'd never heard about, I mean, you know that there's sharks out there, but you'd like never heard someone talking about sharks or shark attacks or that kind of thing, right? And then since then, you know, the great whites have pulled into Cape Town, into False Bay, and, you know, and they've been wreaking havoc for a while. Sorry?
I think they've always been there.
Well, the thing is,
well, Seal Island, right? So you know all those pictures you see of great white sharks jumping out of the water?
Yeah, breaching the water, yeah.
Yeah. Do you know that only happens in Seal Island off Cape Town?
Well, there's
all of those pictures you ever see are there.
Yeah. But there is one other place that they do it, off California, where they breach the water like that. But it's not as prolific as here in South Africa. But the last, and I speak under correction here, I'm sure that sharks were around. I don't know about great whites, but I think when this whole thing started, or when this whole thing became newsworthy, or started hitting the papers, you know, with the frequency that it did, the people went back, and the last time they'd seen a shark breach the water like that was in the 1950s. So my feeling, or my theory is that things are changing in the sea world. They evolve, and then, you know, they're like, it's almost like they rotate, or it's a cycle of pattern of behavior that comes and goes depending on how things are going in the you know, in the ocean. And another example there is that a recent development with the sharks in False Bay is that, you know, that they've disappeared for a while.
No, I didn't know.
But I thought they always did that. It was like seasonal.
No, yeah. So for a certain time of the season, they would go back to Australia. Seriously, they
went all the way to Australia.
Yeah, they tagged some of the great whites in False Bay, and they tracked them back to Australia, and they go back to Australia, and then they come back to South Africa. But
that's a bit of a commute.
But I mean, like you say, it's like a seasonal thing. They disappear for winter or summer or whatever. It's like a migration thing. But these great whites have just disappeared, right? And you know what's chased them away?
What?
Killer whales.
You serious?
Yeah.
Orcas?
Orcas. So all of a sudden, only recently, and it's the only second sort of occurrence of it in the world.
Yeah.
It happened back in, the first time they actually saw it happen was off California. They've also got an island there they've got elephant seals on there. And the great whites obviously go there and feed on the elephant seals there. And there was a shark spotting boat that went out, and they witnessed a killer whale killing a great white. Right?
Wow.
And what it does is it only takes its liver. So it removes the liver from the shark and leaves the rest of the shark there. Right. So that happened in, I think, 1997, then it happened again in 2003 or whatever. But there was only one group of killer whales that were doing this, right?
The killer whales.
Yeah, the killer whales. So now there are two killer whales that have come into False Bay. And they've got this deformity where they've got those, you know, the dorsal fins are flopped over. They still don't understand.
They were in,
like in Free Willy.
That was something to do with, living in
captivity.
Yeah.
But they also suspect that it's got something to do with maybe dehydration or scarcity of food or whatever that causes that fin. But oddly, each one of theirs folds the opposite way. So they've called the killer whales port and starboard, right? Because, But I think it was last week or the week before, there was a great white carcass that they found on the beach. And back in 2017, there were 5 sharks that were killed in a couple of days by these 2 killer whales. And all they do is they just take the liver. How interesting is that?
Snack.
How interesting is that? Anyway, that's my...
What else does killer whales eat? Other stuff, though.
Yeah, they eat seals as well. Yeah. Yeah.
Did they also go for their liver or like?
No. I think what they're doing is they're going
small
for the
livers.
Yeah, they want the fat. The fat is what they're looking for. Anyway.
I think let's keep an eye on that. That is interesting.
Yeah,
what are
very
the
interesting.
trends here? What is going on?
Yeah.
All right. So Shark Awareness Day on Tuesday.
Yep.
but
That was
today's
this
Saturday.
past Tuesday.
Yeah.
So yesterday was Emoji Day and Tattoo Day. So what tattoo are you going to get emojied on your arm?
I'm going to go with the smiley poo icon.
Yeah. I think the emoji that I use the most is the wink one. I spend my life winking at people. So Oleg, what are you Googling?
I'm not Googling anything. I'm just
I've got
thinking
something for you
about
to
the
Google.
emoji. I think my emoji would be this.
I'm looking. I can't
My
see
favorite
anything.
emoji.
Oh yeah,
Can you see
favorite
it?
emoji.
Can you see it?
Yeah. Okay.
Lovely.
Do you know
Peace.
the guy that invented emojis?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Actually works for my company.
Are you shitting
No
me?
way. No way.
And what does he do in the company?
Sends emojis.
Such a big company. I actually think he works for the mobile technology division.
Yeah.
I think that's where he's based. I just know he's in the greater organization.
Well, I mean, I suppose the biggest issue with having a conversation over WhatsApp or some messaging app is that you can never, I mean, without listening to the person talking, like you don't know what the body language is. You don't know what the tone of the conversation is, right? And I suppose that's what emojis allow you to do. I think my biggest problem with emojis is I don't know what half of them fucking mean.
Yeah, why is there some things like what demand was created for someone to actually put this on the list of emoji icons?
Yeah.
There's stuff I never use.
Yeah.
There's stuff they must be there for a reason.
And the thing is, when someone sends you an
How often
emoji,
do we do this?
yeah.
Oh my god.
Well, it depends, dude.
Does that happen?
I'm sure there's a large portion of the population that do operate like that. They're camping at the moment. So like often when someone sends you an emoji that you haven't seen before, or you never know, do they know what the meaning of that emoji is? I mean, so there's two
Can you
sides to it.
Google?
A, do I understand what it means, and B, do they understand what it means?
Well, the other thing was that there was emojis that you could put if you're using an iPhone. There was a range, but if you send it to someone on a Android, Samsung phone,
They wouldn't get it.
it wouldn't come through.
Yeah, it would come through as
It
a
would just
square
come
block.
through as a whole bunch of random characters, and they go, "Well, what are you doing, man? Stop wasting my time."
Yeah.
I'm like, "I'll check this."
Are you
new
swearing
emoji."
at me? Are you swearing at me?
Yeah, and then you're upset, and then there's family feuds, and then before you know it, someone's burnt a house down.
Yeah.
All because of technology differences. Okay, that's a bit extreme. Just a bit.
But like, do you guys know there's actual Emojipedia? So like
Yeah.
Wikipedia, but
Yeah.
like for emojis.
Yeah, I know that. But that's why I say I can go and check and see what it means. But the people that sent it, do they know what it means?
Mm-hmm.
Have they checked the Wikipedia for emojis? I often use that thing because people send me an emoji and I say like, "Fuck, what does that mean?" And then I'll go there and I'll check it out. Anyway, talking about technology, You see that Huawei is now the biggest cell phone company in the world, eh?
No.
They've passed Samsung.
You serious? When?
Yeah, now recently.
Wow.
The biggest cell phone manufacturer in the world.
I know that UK
And they don't
is
even sell in the US.
debating the whole 5G.
Well, the UK backtracked on their Huawei implementation of 5G.
Yeah.
Yeah. And they say that was political pressure from the US.
Yeah. I think.
Is Lester stuck again?
Yeah. We in line to take
Screenshot
a
time.
screenshot time.
I can hear him, but I can't see him.
Yeah. No, he's walking around.
Yeah. But yeah, so I mean, who would have thought that you could be the number one cell phone manufacturer or the top selling cell phone manufacturer in the world, and you don't even sell cell phones in the US?
You can. I mean, if they have large bulk of the Asian markets, they also have a large presence in the developing countries in Africa and South America. I mean, US is just a fraction. I mean, their profit line sales actually come from like a lower tier.
Yeah, but I mean, imagine if they were able to sell in the US, then no cell phone company would ever be able to touch them.
No, yeah.
I mean,
But this artificial vacuum is not going to last. I mean, it's like.
So I see what they're saying is they're saying the US is scared that they will lose the edge when it comes to technology to China. And they are predicting that the world's going to be divided into two camps. Yeah. Countries that buy technology from China and countries that buy technology from the US.
Oh, dude, like for me, it's not even arguments. It's like China's going to lead the technology race over the next 20, 30 years. Just incomparable how much resources they're sinking into like development of new tech. US is very far behind.
Yeah, but you see what the US is doing, right?
Yeah.
Is that they're using their power.
They're artificially trying to. But the thing is, like, the world is so big and so diverse. Okay, they can do it to the UK, but can they do it in South America? They can't do it in South America.
Well,
they can't even do it. They can't even do it in Mexico, or in Canada. I mean.
Yeah, well, they're trying their best to protect their edge that they think they have on technology.
Yeah, but that just leads them into a false sense of security that they are the market leaders, the dominant. Yeah, the Chinese technology is well ahead.
Yeah, exactly.
And a whole bunch of stuff: the phones, the mobile technologies, security, encryption, all of that. They're way ahead.
Well, and we can definitely see the difference
between. If the Americans pretend that they are on a par, then they're missing the point. Then they're just going to fall further behind.
Yeah. So we can definitely see that in the UK. We can definitely see that in the UK that you guys aren't using Chinese technology based on your cell phone signal issues.
That is not a 5G problem.
But it's like UK will go one route, like Germany will go the other route. Germany will also try to front Siemens as their 4.5G/5G type solution. But in terms of the 5G barrier, Huawei is the first one to break it. I mean, and Huawei is going to be the first one to roll it over.
They did that ages ago.
Yeah.
I mean,
their 5G tech is pretty mature.
They broke, yeah. But this is old tech for them now. It's been around that long.
Yeah.
Who was the other one? Because in Japan they also stopped rolling out Huawei to support the 5G rollout. I think they went with not NEC, is it NEC? something similar. But yeah, everyone's still playing catch up. Yeah,
Yeah.
it was announced in the UK this week that we're not supporting Huawei's products.
Yeah, that's what we were talking about. And
Yeah,
they were saying that it's political pressure from the US.
but it's a bit hard because in Germany they are a potential customer of ours. And we have these technology labs where we bring all these vendors in and allow them to interact with other vendors, and as a playground. And
Yeah.
these guys are in. Their technology is sharp.
Yeah.
So as much as we want to shy away from it, is it doing us any good? I don't know. Look, I'm obviously ignoring the whole hype around the security issue. But technology-wise, they're way ahead, and we should be using that to spur us on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what's the alternative in the UK now? Is that what are they going to try and do? Use different vendors now, or what's
Yeah.
different manufacturers?
Yeah.
Have they spoken about who?
No. This is government, right? They'll now form a committee and involve the technology sector to advise, and this will last 3 years.
But the thing
before
is,
they do anything.
But the thing is, like, all that means is that this whole process is going to last a really long time. It's like, so what means is that the consumers and the technology sector will be the one that's going to be playing catch up over the next 5 years. Whereas, like, yeah, I think we're going to roll out 5G in South Africa before you guys roll out 5G in the UK.
Yeah.
Well, I mean,
5G is... We're getting to a
5G's
point where just do people care if it's 5G? There's always a hype when 3G came out, 4G came out, and it was faster infrastructure. Where people are getting to the point where I'm quite happy with 4G.
Yeah.
For what I use, I'm quite happy with it. I don't need a 5G enabled phone. I'm quite happy with the old tech.
Yeah.
We're at that point. So
I think so
who are we
too.
rolling it out for? Is it for the future infrastructure, or is it for a consumer market that they think is there?
But I mean, what's the reliability comparison between 4G and 5G? Because we've got 4G here in Johannesburg and whatever, but half the time it doesn't work. It doesn't operate consistently as one would expect it to. I mean, does 5G take you into that sort of level that, fine, you might not be getting the top speed all of the time, but the worst speed that you're getting is still better than the best 4G that you can get? Because at my house, I battle to get decent 4G. And I'm in fucking Johannesburg. I can see the Sentech tower from my fucking house. I can see 3 cell phone towers in my area. What's the deal?
In the centre of London,
yes,
I could struggle to get a signal on a few networks.
Yeah.
And maybe that's the congestion of the buildings and where the masts are. Yeah.
But also, if you got masts too close together, they create these dead spots, right?
Yeah.
So if you look in Johannesburg, if you look at the coverage map of the 3 major cell phone providers, you will see that in the area that I used to live in, Blairgowrie, right, there was a dead spot, and my house was in the middle of that dead spot.
Nice action.
Yeah.
It hurts the value of the house when you sell it.
Fucking dude, it used to drive me insane. And even where I am now, the cell phone signal is not that great.
So I've got a friend of mine in New York, and she sells mast connectivity. So basically, the company go off and they go to all the building owners and say, "Can we put relay stations and masts, etc., on your roof?"
Yeah.
And then they would then in turn sell those, the usage of them to the various cell phone providers. So that she's been doing that for years, and obviously congested zone like Manhattan, there's a high demand for this. So it's an easy money maker. But the problem that they had was the buildings are different heights. So you might have a better signal on the 52nd floor, but on street level, you'd struggle because everything was too high. So they had to reinvent it to get something a bit lower to the ground. And then there was the demand that subway needed connectivity and so on and so on. So there's constant challenges. So as much as we're having challenges around black spots now, and I think we'll still have those in the future. 5G does have some constraints around distance from the system mass. It has a different technology. It has a different infrastructure behind it, and that is limiting. So it's probably going to suit the built-up congested areas more than be rolled out to support connectivity across a motorway, a highway, across the country.
Yeah. And you know what issue that I have often is the switching between H plus or HPSD, DPA and 4G, and then switching back again. Sometimes it doesn't. So like, for instance, like it's picked up, okay, you can get a 4G signal, but it's very low reception. But it doesn't switch over to HSDPA
until it drops completely.
So it's fucking around. So I go onto my phone and I force it to go to 3G, right? And then it works like a fucking Boeing. But then I'm stuck on 3G. And then when I go into a 4G zone, then I've got to switch it back to 4G to get the benefit. So that drives me insane.
Yeah, those things. It's fine for most of the stuff we do. If we start doing, it's when you start bringing video in. That 3G doesn't work.
Our lives are all around video, dude.
Yeah.
Anyway, so I mean, 5G is available in South Africa already.
Yep.
So is your phone 5G enabled?
No, mine's not. It's time for an upgrade. I'm due for an upgrade soon. 2 months, six weeks time. I'm due for an upgrade.
I'm actually due for an upgrade now, so I'm busy looking at.
Oh, so you're going to go for the Huawei P40 Pro?
Yep. What was that?
That's you, dude.
Not me.
Okay, interesting. Okay.
That sounded like one of those. That sounded like one of those.
2, 1.
That sounded like one of those things that you have when you're getting attacked. That then sends an SOS message to you.
Is that a rape alarm?
Yeah, it's like a rape alarm.
Dude, I don't know. I think it's just my alarm. I most likely will. I'm considering Huawei as an option for my next upgrade. The thing is, like, I don't want to spend too much money, so I'm not really looking at getting top of the edge Samsung S20. So I'm looking for a cost-effective solution to what I need.
Yeah. What have you got at the moment? The S10, eh?
No, I got the S9.
Oh, the S9. S9 Plus or just the S9?
Just the S9. Just a straightforward S9.
Yeah.
So you're a Samsung Galaxy Android man?
Yeah. I love my Android.
Yeah.
Andrew, what do you got?
I've got a S9 Plus. It's so I was when I went to the launch of this, they had a pop-up stand in Sandton. So I went there and checked out this phone, and I had the S7 Plus before this, or the S7 Edge, sorry, the S7 Edge, and I went there, and yes, they were taking these amazing photographs, and I thought, fuck, this is amazing. So anyway, so when it was due for an upgrade, I went and I got it, S9 Plus, and then I worked out that the camera is exactly the same as the camera that I had on the S7 Edge. Right. The only difference is I've got the second camera that then it's got the telephoto lens in it, which is fine. It's useful. It works, but it's not the greatest because it's even though it's optical zoom, 2 times optical zoom, it's like the photos from that optical zoom are not the greatest. They're very edgy and they're not very crisp. And then the nice thing is it's got decent low light photography. But I mean, that was it. That was the only difference between the S7 Edge and this phone. There was nothing else that was differentiates the two dramatically.
I think that's cell phones have always been a problem with the upgrades.
Yeah,
I mean, they do a big song and dance. Got to bring a new version out in time for Christmas every year, and you scratch the surface, and it's like it's not that much different. Why would I need to go and upgrade?
Yeah.
So my battery's dying a bit. It's not it doesn't hold the power as long, but I'll wait. I'll wait for the next one.
Yeah. So the thing is that if you look at the upgrades of the phone, if you just take the Galaxy range, top of the Galaxy range, every time the new top of the range comes out, I mean, what are they changing every time? They're changing the camera. That's all they really.
Yeah, the camera changes.
Yeah.
It's just the camera. Oh, and then they move the fingerprint detection from the back to the front. What else do they do? They're just upgrading the camera every time.
Which is a good thing, but you get to the point with this is a camera. Is it really noticeable, the difference in megapixels now? Because the quality of megapixels is already high.
Yeah. So So
now we're getting into different, background effects or light effects.
Yeah.
But this then drives the need for a more powerful battery, perhaps, or better processing power. So it still comes back to the same thing: faster engine, bigger fuel tank, keep it skinny, keep it sleek and sexy.
So more space. So like more space, 128, whatever phone, or a 256 gig phone, camera upgrade and a processor upgrade. But theoretically, like the processor upgrade and the camera upgrade, it doesn't make the phone faster. It just keeps the phone at the same sort of performance level.
Yep.
Yeah. And I mean, my phone all of a sudden this week has been super slow. I don't know what the fuck is going on. I've restarted it at least twice a day.
Wow.
And I don't know if it's an app or if it's an upgrade, a recent upgrade that they did on Samsung that's causing the problem. But
what's the latest
firmware
OS version you're using on your phone?
Well, I don't know. It's not like Samsung doesn't really do the same sort of like versioning of the software as iPhone does.
I'm on Android version 9.
Yeah, I'm just checking here what I'm on. So my latest update was installed on the 7th of July.
Yeah.
So how do you see what version it is? Mine's got some fucking long fucking number.
Go to the software information.
G965FXXU9ETF5.
That's your baseband version, right? So that's the baseband you're part of. Just check for the Android version. So go to the settings, then about the phone, then software information.
10. Version 10.
You're on 10. Okay, that explains it.
I'm actually on 2.1 for the UI version. Just to put it out there.
Lester?
I feel so much closer to you now.
Thanks.
All this personal information. I love it. Oh.
Yeah. Private information over the internet.
But we don't.
Anyway, guys, we've milked this one thoroughly this week.
It is dry.
Yeah.
It's milk dry.
It's milk dry. And we only got one screenshot from Lester, so...
His internet connection is obviously becoming more stable.
The performance is shocking today.
Yeah.
I'm surprised I haven't been knocked off soon. I just think I've been monitored because the rest of the day, there's no glitches. It's this time
shit.
on a Saturday every week. Like there's some guy sitting at the exchange going,
It's the MI6, dude.
just give me any word, there it is, bang.
Yeah, exactly.
Bounce.
Yeah.
So can I came across something interesting, like while we were chatting. I'm gonna post it in the chat group. Just have a look at this. This is what happened in Limpopo this week in Burgers Fort.
Okay. I'm waiting with great
Fort.
anticipation.
And I just wanna see your comments. Like, do you know what that is?
All right.
Do you guys see it?
No.
Very well.
Why is your internet going funny now, Lester?
He's being watched. Okay, there's another screenshot.
No, I didn't get your message, by the way.
Just have a look in the chat.
Oh, on the chat.
Yeah.
Okay. What is that? A car?
Yeah.
Where's the chat? Did they try and hijack that car? Did they try and steal that car?
No. It's got nothing to do with the hijacking.
Oh, that looks like a Toyota. Is that a
Yeah.
Fortuner?
It's a Hilux.
Hilux? No, that's a
Yeah.
Fortuner, dude.
Is that a Fortuner?
Yeah, that's a Fortuner.
Okay.
What happened? The engine exploded.
No. It's a meteorite.
You
It's a
shitting me?
meteorite. Would you
Holy
believe it?
cow. No.
Do you know how big was this meteorite that hit this car? The
Yeah.
engine bay of this car? It was the size of the fist.
And it made an impact like that.
It basically went all the way through the engine bay into the ground.
Holy mother shit. Fuck, that's fascinating, dude. I think
How
we've
cool is
lost
that?
Leicester.
Yeah, we lost Leicester.
Leicester!
But like, how cool is that? Like, I know it's pretty unfortunate for the owner of the vehicle, right? But like,
Yeah.
how amazing is that this dude parks his car in a parking spot, and then a meteorite traveling like 4 kilometers a second, smacks into his engine bay.
Jeez, dude, like the slightest deflection on its trajectory could have ended in a different result.
Yeah.
Can you imagine what the news
Can you-
would say?
I can't-
Man hit by
I can't
meteorite.
get to that photo. Can you send it to the WhatsApp group?
Yeah, I can send it through the WhatsApp group.
Jeez, what happened to
I
your
can't see the
video,
notes on this.
Lester? Okay, guys, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to kill the stream. It's been epic. For a day that I wasn't really feeling up for. Turned out to be a good conversation. See, it helps.
awesome,
when you
man.
Yeah,
don't-
sorry about that.
Yeah,
We'll try harder next time.
it helps when you don't try and overthink it. Eh?
Did you guys
Okay.
Did you guys get it on the WhatsApp group?
Yeah.
Catch you guys next weekend.
Cheerio.